Hey everyone, it's your girl Barbie J here, and we are talking about another wonderful episode of The Equalizer, Season 2, Episode 5, Followers. And this definitely was another good episode. I tell you, they never cease to, you know, let us down. I tell you, never. They haven't let us down one time. So, this episode, before we get started, shout out to everybody in my comment section. I appreciate all those of you and my subscribers, the new ones who have been holding my channel down. Thank you very kindly. I also want to give a shout out to those of you who have gone and watched my video that I did for domestic violence and breast cancer awareness, the concert. I hope you liked it, and I hope you would share it with other people to bring joy and hope and love and fun and happiness to people. That's what that video is all about. People going through and people surviving. Okay, then if you have not subscribed to my channel as of yet, please take a moment right now, hit that little subscribe button right there, and then hit the notification bell, and it'll let you know every time Barbie J uploads a new video, and you continue to get all this great content and different things that are going on this YouTube channel. Okay, so let's get on with this show. This episode was so good, I tell you. It starts off with one. It was Aunt Vi and them. They were talking about going to the movies, but unfortunately, Robin had to work, so it was just Aunt Vi and Delilah going. So they were talking about that, and then Aunt Vi and Delilah, they are shopping, and I had to do this part first because it just worked my last nerve. They're shopping, and before the movie, and some woman comes up to Aunt Vi after Aunt Vi picks up this yellow outfit and was looking at it, and the woman comes around the rack and says, I was going to get that. I was going to buy that, and you need to give it to me right now and stuff. And Aunt Vi was like, what? What are you talking about? And so the lady comes towards her. She's being abusive, verbally abusive. And she grabs the outfit and they're pulling back and forth. What I don't like with this scene is the people at the store had been watching and none of them intervened. The white women were standing behind the counter and didn't do anything after they saw what went down. Thank God, Delilah saw what was going on, and she was like, that is not what happened. And the lady was like, well, if you don't give it to me, I'm going to call the cops. And she calls the cops and says she was assaulted because she told the people in the store to do something, but they stood there and wouldn't do nothing. And Aunt Vi was like, no. She said, they know you're lying and that you're making this up and stuff. So I'm not giving you anything. And the lady called the cops and said she was being assaulted. And Delilah was like, that did not happen. So I said, I can't wait to see how this gonna go down. But if any of y'all have ever been through this, y'all are sure to know what went down. But let's get on to the part with our dear sister Robin. It starts off with some woman is being watched within her home, and they have it on a live feed somewhere where people in this the stalker is filming herself being in these people's houses and stuff and posted it on the dark web. And she first got traction when she showed people her killing a cat some kind of way and suffocating it. So these two people, their name is Abe and Rachel. They wanted to hire, no one believed them, and they didn't know where this lady was. You didn't know where she was, whose house they were in. It was just a big mystery, but the person kept live streaming it. So they're telling Robin, they've been investigating and stuff, and that and Robin feels that the person who's doing it, that we assumed it was a guy, is a psychopath. And so they started doing some digging, and they found somebody who fits the bill, and he has a juvie record that's sealed. So I guess they kind of got it unsealed. His name was Brandon. So Robin goes to pay him a visit. And we find out that he's innocent, and other people are thinking that it's him as well. When they show that thing about the killing the cat, for some reason his name comes up, and he's just been being attacked and threatened and stuff. And he did that sealed juvie record was because some guy was giving his sister drugs. And I forgot what happened to his sister, but he caught the guy and beat the crap out of the guy for doing that or something. Got his sister on drugs. So that's why he got the juvie record and it was sealed. So while Robin's at his house talking to him, another video is posted, and what is it? Mel and them are telling her, Mel and Harry let her know. So she's like, what is going on? So they give her some kind of information to track whatever it is. And Robin goes to that place to see what's going on. And who comes out of the store and starts running when he sees her? She chases him down. And it's the guy, Abe, who really hired her. But he didn't really want Rachel to hire her. And we could tell when he was like, let's go. She's not going to help us. Let's go. But Robin said no, she would help them. She would see what she can do. So she caught up with him and said, you didn't want me to be hired, did you? She said, you wanted your 15 minutes of fame, because he admitted that he knew some of the information and had found another video with some clues and he hadn't shared it. So he was hiding evidence. He wanted to solve the crime himself and didn't want any other person to be. I said, ain't this some nonsense? Some woman is dying and this fool is acting like this. I couldn't believe it. So since this new video that appeared, Mel and Harry, they noticed that there's a new lock on the door, the woman's door. So they think she realized she was being followed and may have reported it to the police or something. So Robin goes to see Detective Dante. She shows up behind him, and I swear he got the hots for her. I don't care what. I like Detective Dante. He just got this cute little something of his innocence when he ain't innocent at all, because he could look nasty and funky when he want to when he doing his police work. So he's at a food truck buying some food, and she comes up behind him and pays for the meal and stuff. And she said that she had a video she wanted him to watch it. He said, oh, okay. Is that dinner in a movie? I said, oh, how cute. Ain't that something? So she's showing him the movie, and he's noticing the toy on the floor. And I said movie, but the video. And he notices a toy on the floor. He said, well, I know you don't have no children, especially no boys, because you would know what this toy is. So he feels that the lady has a child so that's one clue they got. So she asked him to get her all the names and addresses of women who have called the police about a stalk or invasions over the past 2 weeks. And he got her a list of 46 people. And so Mel and Harry started going through the list, and they started, knocking people off by different things. They noticed something about this woman, that she had these cheap blinds in her window, but she had like $100 hand cream on the table and silk pajamas on. So why would you have that and then have some cheap blinds? So they said maybe she's in an Airbnb, maybe she's here, maybe she's there. So while they're figuring that out, we go back over to that store with that woman, and the police go right over to her. They didn't even go over to the people at the store who were working there. I don't know how they went over to that woman, and Delilah goes, hey, we're the victims over here. And Aunt Vi said, no, don't say anything. So they talk to the white woman, and basically they come over to Aunt Vi and asking her to apologize to the lady so that the lady doesn't escalate it and press charges. Because he said, well, what happened? And she told him what happened. He said there was a mix-up or some confusion about an outfit. She said there was no confusion. I picked it up, I had it, and she came over and tried to take it out of my hand. So then he wanted her to apologize. And she said, for what? I didn't do anything. And he said, well, we're just trying to keep it from escalating, anybody getting arrested or something like that. And she explains to the officer, well, there's not going to be any need for that because we got it all on video. And I thought I saw Delilah recording it. And Delilah showed him the video. And he walks over to his partner, who's also white, a white male, both of them. And he looks at the video, and they look at the lady, and the lady looks over at Aunt Vi and yells, I'm sorry, or something like that. I said, what? And he goes and gives them the phone back, Delilah the phone back, and he walks away. And Aunt Vi said, "Excuse me, don't you want to know if I want to press charges?" Hello. Hello. Thank you, everybody, because that's what I'm saying. So he's like, "Well, do you?" And she said, "No, I wouldn't think of weaponizing the police." And he looks at her and said, like, "Ugh, whatever." That was the look on his face. I swear, I know I would have wanted to smack that chick. I would have beat that little Karen down, because that was a serious Karen move that she did. Wasn't that something, y'all? If any of y'all have ever experienced something like that or know somebody, put it down in the comment section. I'd be curious to know how many people have experienced one of these Karen moves or know a close friend or family member who's happened to. This is ridiculous how they think they could get away with that. I didn't like that at all. I was glad Aunt Vi stood her ground, and I was super thankful and grateful that Delilah was recording it. So back to Robin and Mel and Harry, and they started eliminating people from that long list based on addresses and information and stuff they seen, the blinds on the wall, and all these other things. And they had it down to two places, one in Harlem and one somewhere else. And I think it wasn't the one in Harlem, because when they broke in, it was a house. So it must have been the other location, you know. And so Robin gets there to the place, because they said it's already 7 hours. They said in 8 hours, she usually is going to kill a person or something like that. So 7 hours have passed, and Robin makes it there in time to save the girl, to save the woman. So the woman, Vicky, is saying, that the guy ran and he took my son. But to me, she looked a little bit calm. Too calm when she was doing that. I think I would have been a little bit more hysterical, like, "You gotta get her, we gotta go, blah, blah, blah." She was laying on the floor like she got busted over the head and all this stuff and everything. And she was just one calm mother. You gotta go find him. So Robin was like, "No, we gotta take her to the hospital." They took her son, Benji. So they get her to the hospital to get checked out. And Robin and Detective Dante are talking to her in the hospital. And they asked him, does she know the person? Did he look familiar to her in any way? What does she think? And she was like, "No, they don't look familiar to her." She said, "Well, I think he's from your hometown," or something like that. And she asked him to describe what he had on. And she described everything very well, what the attacker was wearing and stuff. And then she said, "And what was your son wearing?" Robin asked. And she said, a white sweater and some jeans and she's like almost trying to remember what her son wore that morning when she dressed him, but she knew everything about the attacker, and that was something strange, because she tested her thought on Mel and had Mel describe what she close her eyes and describe what she was wearing, and then had her describe what Harry was wearing. So she said, "Okay." She said, "So I'm not crazy right now." So Robin made the realization that the woman also said she didn't see it coming. And she said, but she called the police that last week or something like that, and said the cops did nothing. And she said, and I'm surprised, she would have been all over Detective Dante as a mother about her son being taken and the cops not doing anything and blah, 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 blah. She said, so I was like, so what's up with that? Robin was like, what is that? So they decided to check an old yearbook to see if the guy was in it. And what they realized is, it's not a guy, it's a woman. Matter of fact, the woman she saved, who she thought was Vicky, was really some woman named Rachel. I mean, not Rachel, Amber. She was some woman named Amber, who you could see in the picture. She was on the softball team with Vicky. And you could see her staring at her. We find that she was jealous of Vicky when they were in high school and stuff. So the stalker was a woman and not a man. So they're like, so where is the child? If there's a child and the real Vicky, where are they? So she called Detective Dante to go back to the house, and he finds Vicky and Benjamin tied up in the basement. I said, ain't this nothing? Ain't this nothing? In the meantime, Rachel, who's the lady who hired Robin, she go to the hospital to go see Vicky, thinking that's Vicky, to see how she was. And she told her she's the one who, called the police to try to find her. She said, well, why did you go through this? And they had this long conversation, and she talked about the dark web and all this stuff. And because it had happened to her, that's why she wanted to make sure that she tried to save her. And, and it was, oh my goodness. And since it had happened before her and she couldn't do anything, she wanted to make sure she helped somebody else. And you could tell the way the lady Rachel was, Rachel, not Rachel, the one who was acting like she was Vicky. She was so intrigued with, oh, there was an audience and that many people were looking. So y'all were going to watch me get killed. She's just talking to her. And she was like, Rachel's looking at her like, this kind of strange what she's saying, because she seemed thrilled to know about it, But anyway, Robin goes to the hospital to catch up with this chick Amber, who's pretending she's Vicky. And she sees Rachel, talking about, why are you there? She said, well, I came to see Vicky, but I just had this strange conversation with her, about people watching her murder and stuff like that. She said, look, she said, where is she? She said, in the room. Robin, hurry up to the room. And she was gone. She had bounced. So, Rachel is feeling bad. She's like, did I create a monster and stuff? And what Robin said, psychopaths are master manipulators. I heard that is. They're really good at it too. They are really good at it. And so Robin tells Rachel to use the group to get Amber's name out there to let everybody know and warn them about her. And she said Amber doesn't care about anything except who she represents. She don't really care about Vicky. She'll move on to the next person. That's what she's going to do. So she doesn't care about Vicky. She cares about attention. And that's what, because that's what made her happy, all that attention about killing somebody. And so Rachel goes home and she's on the phone, and just as all of us expected, Rachel gets home and Amber's in her apartment and put a knife to her throat. Good God Almighty. I said, what in the world? I knew it. So Robin gets home and sees Aunt Vi and them and Delilah, and it's real quiet. And how was the movie? And it's like, we didn't go, and nobody wants to really talk about it. And then Delilah shows her the video of what the white woman did. And Robin was like, that is messed up. Aunt Vi, you want me to take care of it? No, I don't want you to do nothing. She don't want you to do nothing. She said, I'm just so pissed. But she said, Delilah said, I wanted to put it on social media, but I didn't. She said, but Aunt Vi was real boss, the way she handled everything. She was great and stuff. And we got what we wanted. She said, no, we didn't get what we wanted. She said, see, the police went to that white woman first because her whiteness was a synonymous with truth. I said, oh, you better come on now. And she said, and here I am, a middle-class black woman who would probably be sitting in a jail now without that video that you recorded. She said, what I wanted, honestly, was to be presumed innocent, but I didn't get that. And I said, wow, she sure didn't. And then she said, what she really wanted to do is bitch slap for that woman. I said, I know that bitch slap, pimp slap, bust her ass, whatever. I would have wanted to do all of that. And she said, but we got where we came from. We could have left. She said, no, if we would have left, that would have been the easy way out. She said, and it would have, and if we had left, she said, without being heard, that would have been the easy way out. And it would have poisoned our spirits because we want to be heard in what we did. And having this white woman just tell you going to give it up and give it to me and all that stuff, that wasn't sitting well. And Aunt Vi was crying. She was crying and she didn't like that. And she said, baby, don't ever let them sell you that lie about our voices not being heard or something like that, she told Delilah. And then Robin's phone rang and it's Harry and Robin letting her know that there was an anonymous video just posted, and bam. She said she's making her move. They said, no, not making it. She already made it. She's got Rachel tied up, and it says, stay tuned. I said, oh, poor Rachel gonna die. This is crazy, Rachel. You see what happens when you try to help people? I shouldn't say that, but that's how I feel sometimes. I be helping people, try to reach out and do stuff, and then I end up getting hurt or in trouble behind it. I don't like that. But it happens a lot to people. Anyway, so they're trying to find out where Rachel is, and there's like 1,000 people watching, and Amber's so excited about it and thanking Rachel for making it all possible. And in the meantime, Detective Dante went to Rachel's apartment, and he couldn't find her. She wasn't there. And Harry's like looking through the video, and they looking for signs on that video, and they see a window, and maybe this can help us and stuff. So they put out a request on the dark web. Everybody watching to see who recognizes that view from the window where Rachel's being held. And Rachel told Amber, she was like talking to her on the video and said, thanks for making this all possible. And she said, you know what, Amber, you think you got fans, but all them people do is pity you behind it. Pity the fool. They pity you. So they try to find a way to stall. And Harry said he could shut it down for about 5 minutes, but it'll come back up. So that's what he did. Robin said, do it. In the meantime, she called Detective Dante because somebody got back to them and said they noticed where that place is and it's not far from Rachel's apartment. So Detective, she tells him to go there, hurry up. And he said, okay, give me a minute. She said, we don't have a minute. She don't have much time left. So they go over to that building. In the meantime, the video feed came back up. And Amber was ready to do her thing, and she went and got a bag and suffocated, was going to make it a slow death and suffocate Rachel, and Rachel couldn't do anything, and Harry couldn't block it out again because it takes a longer time to shut down the system after the first time you do it. That's what he was telling Robin, and Robin was so scared. She was like, hurry up, Dante, get there. And of course, he gets there in time. And he saves the day, and he tells them to shut down that video feed. And they handcuffed that nutcase, is what they did. So then it ends with Rachel being, Rachel sitting in a diner or something with Robin, all those R's, Rachel and Robin, and she's saying how her phone's been ringing so much, CNN and BuzzFeed and Good Morning America. They want to hear her version. And that they're calling her a hero, and she can't do it. She doesn't want to do it. She turned it down for the fact that she feels responsible for creating Amber, the monster Amber. And the fact that Abe was behind, withholding evidence, that pissed her off. So she said she don't want to give Amber any more attention than she already has. And I understood that. And I love this last part, how it ended. And I'm sure y'all all did too. Put it down in the comment section because we was hollering, yeah! You better go, D. Delilah confronts that woman waiting in her office. I'm a real estate agent, y'all, so I know that feeling. I'm in a real estate, or she's in there, and she's waiting for her to come in. And she tells her, I found your pictures easy to find real estate agents. There really is. And it's easy to find them and stuff. And so she was waiting for her in the store. And she told her, I just wanted to let you know, from the store, that how your actions upset my aunt. And I don't want to fight with you. And I thought if you could see stuff from her perspective or our perspective, things could be different, and the lady is looking at her like almost like she feel embarrassed at first. And there's about 8 or 10 agents sitting there in a row, 5 on one side, 5 on the other, or something like that, or 4 on one side, 4, whatever it is. And so nobody's really paying attention. But when Delilah said that, she was very sweet, very innocent, very nice. And the woman goes, you seem like a very nice girl, very articulate and civilized, considering the kind of people you were raised by. What the hell? Delilah was like, oh, what? I was sitting there going, what? It was like Amber says, what? What? I said, oh, women, you don't know nothing about how she was raised, the kind of people you were raised by. But if your aunt wants to apologize, she can come do it herself. Now, you didn't see her trying to apologize. She just wanted you to see from their perspective what you did. And so Delilah was like, okay. The woman turned to walk away. Delilah hit some button. You heard it. And she yells, hey, Laurie. She should have said Karen. But she said, hey, Laurie, I just made you famous. And everybody's terminals start going beep, 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 beep. Yo, they was showing that picture of how she acted, and they all turning at her. The black girl is looking at her. The white men, white people, everybody looking at her like, that was jacked up. So I'm glad she did that. I'm glad it ended like that. And it was a wonderful episode with a very happy ending for Barbie J because I got a kick out of that crap. But y'all let me know if I missed anything down in the comment section, how y'all felt about this episode. And remember, it comes back in 2 weeks. So it won't be there next week. It'll be back in 2 weeks. This your girl, Barbie J, saying peace.